I want to show you how to change the seal on the Big Green Egg. And every once in a while you're going to find that the seals will burn and they will no longer be affected. You'll get a little smoke leaking out between the lid and the base, and you'll find that the temperature control is really hard to maintain, and so you're going to have to change the seal. Now on mine, I actually burned mine up in a pretty unusual way. I actually, in chasing the quintessential barbecue flavor, I decided to try burning wood in my egg, and so I had a nice big blaze of cherry wood going here, and little did I know it was burning my seals to a crisp. So my seals needed to be replaced, and that's what I'm doing here. So you're going to need a few things. The first thing you're going to need to do before you ever get to this part is you're going to need to get a new seal. You can get these seals from your Big Green Egg supplier, or if you're like me, you save a few bucks, you get them from an online supplier. And this one says gas grill replacement parts, lid gasket. Although this is not a gas grill, it is specifically designed for the egg. I checked on that ahead of time. So that's one thing you'll need. Another thing you're going to need is a scraper. Also, the company recommends that you use acetone, which is a fairly harsh, thinner cleaner remover, which evaporates really quickly. You can get this at Home Depot, or you can get it at a paint supply store, anything like that. I also highly recommend that you use nitrile gloves or any other sort of protective glove. You don't want that acetone on your hands. It's not good for you. So I got these nitrile gloves at Home Depot. It's 100 of them in a pack. They work great for this and other cleaning, stripping sorts of endeavors. And also a toothbrush. It works really well, an old toothbrush. This one actually has a vibrator in it, so it helps to clean the burnt stuff off. And then a little container for pouring the acetone as you're working. I actually just took a Coke can and a box cutter and just cut the top off the can, and that works really well. So what I want to show you here is sort of what you need to clean off. You can sort of see around the edge here, you've got some black stuff on top of a dull finish, and that dull finish is the ceramic from the egg, right? And that's what we want to get down to. We want to clean off the black shiny stuff so that we're down to the nice dull finish. What we want to accomplish here, again, is we want to get all the melted and charred old gasket off of the ceramic base. The way that we're going to do that is a couple of ways. First off, I like to just sort of go over the surface pretty quickly with the scraper and just get off all the loose stuff and get it as clean as you can with just the scraper. And you'll notice that and I've done a lot of this already, but what you will notice is that the scraper only gets you so far, and its stuff is pretty caked on there. So that's where the acetone comes in. And what we want to do is we want to take the acetone and we want to spread it around here as much as possible. Now you're going to notice, A, that this stuff has a horrible smell to it, but B, that it evaporates pretty quickly. So obviously you're going to want to do this outside where you don't have any ventilation problems. I'd never recommend that you do this inside. I think that would be very unhealthy, bordering on dangerous. So, but you can see here it kind of evaporates pretty quickly, but what this is going to do is it's going to help melt, chemically sort of melt off some of the charred stuff before we go at it again with the scraper. And that's important because it's a lot easier to scrape once you have the melted material off. So you're going to do that, and this toothbrush has a vibrating feature to it too, so I like to use that, and then just go over it and get that nice and sort of melted as much as you can with a toothbrush. I'm going to do the same thing here on the base, and I've already been over this base once, but you can see that there's still a fair amount of black stuff on here, and that black stuff is just going to prevent the seal from sealing, and so that's what we don't want, because we don't want to have to go through this again and buy another seal and go do all of this because it didn't stick well enough. All right, so I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to get my scraper again, and now that this is a little bit more melted, you can see how it starts to come off a lot easier. And I'm actually down to that ceramic base, which you can see is that kind of lighter brown color. And just going to go around and get this stuff off. And you can kind of see how that's coming off. And by the way, you're going to notice that when you're scraping the stuff, a lot of those bits are going to fall off into your cooker bowl, which is okay at this point because we'll clean that out before we use it again. So again, I'm just going to go around, get this all cleaned off as best that I can. And a lot of the stuff actually is a little deceptive in that you almost think that you got it all, and then you go over it again and you realize there's a whole bunch on there that you couldn't tell. So you do have to go over it a couple times. And I think the nice guide, or the way to tell you kind of got it, is when you don't see as much black and you're starting to see more of the lighter color ceramic. All right. And all you want to do is get the black stuff off. And it is a little dirty, but with a good pair of gloves, it's not too bad. Okay, now we've got everything cleaned off, and I've actually applied the new gasket to the bottom here, so you can see what that looks like. This is what we're trying to achieve here. Nice, even gasket going all the way around the egg. Perfect, and we got the edges cut nice and neat, so there's no gaps in there, so we're not going to leak any air and any smoke. I'm just going to do the top here now so you can see how this works. You just peel back. Very, very simple, very easy. You just peel back the backing on the tape, and then you're just going to want to align it with the edges. And I like to, it's a little bit bigger than the entire ceramic, just a touch, and so I like to try to make sure that the seal doesn't protrude into the ceramic base here at all, or the bowl, because that'll just burn when the egg is heated. So it's better to have a little tiny extra on the outside where it won't burn than on the inside. So all you do then is simply track along with the edges. It's a little easier sometimes just to kneel down so you can see it better, and stick it on. Okay, so I'm just coming to the end now of the ring, and you can see I've got a little bit left over here. That's good. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I mate these things up real well so that we don't have leaks. So I'm going to take my knife, which is my back pocket here. You can see I'm just using a regular box cutter knife, again available at your local hardware store or Home Depot. And I'm just going to line up the cuts, and it's going to take me a couple times to get through this because this stuff is thick stuff, and you'll notice that the seal can kind of stick on your hands too, which sucks, but what are you going to do? All right, and there it is. You can see everything is beautiful here. Seal all the way around, stuck to the base. It seems to be sticking real well, which means that I've cleaned it and did a good job on that. And now for the big test, we're going to close it. Oh, beautiful. You can see we've got a really nice seal here, and we've effectively repaired the seal. Now there is one more thing we're going to have to do, and that is that the seal needs to really be exposed to the heat for a couple of hours before it can fully mate, and the glue can stick down to that ceramic base. So you're going to want to fire it up, let it go for a couple hours, I'd say at about 300 degrees before you do any real cooking on it. That's going to let the all the chemical stuff that we used burn off and let the seal get really well stuck on there. And we're set to go. Okay, thanks very much. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned a few things.